Hello friends, myself is Dr. Vishwaraj Nikam. I am an oral and maxillofacial surgeon. We are here to discuss regarding mucormycosis. Mucormycosis is not a new disease, it's old one, but nowadays it is very common. It is an opportunistic fungal infection. Previously this was called zygomycosis. Due to the family of mucormycetes, it is very common. In my 20 years of experience, I operated hardly 10 to 12 cases of mucormycosis. But now, since 2.5 months, I am diagnosing at least 4 to 5 new cases per day and operating also. We are discussing why there is a sudden rise in cases of mucormycosis, the pathophysiology, rising factors, signs and symptoms of the disease, precautions and investigations, diagnostic test and treatment plan. Even regarding we want to discuss about the prognosis and reconstruction after the surgeries. After second wave of COVID, there is a sudden rise in the cases of mucormycosis. There is more than 300 times rise in the cases of mucormycosis in India. It is very aggressive and invading disease to the vital structures, and even the morbidity is very high. It is 30 to 40%. Data shows high recurrence rate also. I would say mucormycosis is a collateral damage in COVID-19. There is no very good data regarding mucormycosis in the world, but would like to discuss some evidence-based study and my personal experience regarding the mucormycosis. We all know that India is a diabetic capital of world. Diabetes is a king of disease in India. This can also be the reason for the rise in cases of mucormycosis in India. This fungus is more present in soil. We all are exposing every day, but our immunity is taking care of that. That's why we are not having that disease. But there are different hypotheses worldwide regarding the mucormycosis. Studies showing some predisposing factors of mucormycosis, mainly hyperglycemia, the patient suffering from diabetes ketoacidosis, increased ferritin levels, local acidic environment over there, altered immunity, patient taking chemotherapy, organ transplantation, hematological disorders, and even the voriconazole, which is a very useful drug for the fungus. It also activates mucormycosis. Even some study shows tocilizumab is also used in the COVID. It causes mucormycosis. But I think this is a very newer drug, and only 5 to 6% people have taken this drug. Some hypothesis is also there, like humidifiers, unsterile masks, high flow oxygen, immunosuppressive drugs during the COVID infection may also cause mucormycosis. Previously, mucormycosis was mostly rhinocerebral, but I would say now there are variations from case to case. It may be a sino-alveolar from sinus to alveolus, sino-orbital from sinus to orbit, sino-orbital maxillary from sinus to orbit, and even the maxilla. Even there are some pulmonary mucormycosis, renal mucormycosis, cutaneous mucormycosis due to the burns and traumas, GI, gastrointestinal mucormycosis, and disseminated mucormycosis. Now the question is how this infection occurs. What is the pathophysiology behind this? It is caused due to the inhalation of the fungal spores from the atmosphere, and immediately after that it starts multiplicating and the colonization formation occurs rapidly. It is it is having affinity to medium, and small size vessels forms fungal thrombi inside the vessels, and it leads to the ischemia and results into avascular necrosis, means the bone becomes necrosed. There is also high incidence of post-COVID thromboembolic episodes. Even I think 25% patients also are there with no history of COVID who are suffering from mucormycosis. Maybe they were asymptomatic during their COVID phase, but Some patients are telling we never admitted, we never had any oxygen therapy, but still they are such 24 to 25% patients are positive. Now, why common in the midface area? Why mucormycosis is common in midface area? Mostly, this is the area having medium to small size vessels, which are highly vascular, which is the very highly vascular area. Even sinuses are present in this area, and we know maxilla is a porous bone. That's why it affects in midface. When does it affect? After how many days of COVID it shows mucormycosis? We can't predict such thing, because study shows some cases are admitted after 1 month for the mucormycosis, after the recovery of 1 month from the COVID. Some are there after 8 days after recovery of COVID. I have seen so many cases nowadays in this month after just 1 week to 8 to 10 days after the just COVID infection, active infection. So for diagnosis and treatment plan, we are going to discuss the evidence-based study here. How to diagnose? I think for the diagnosis, we need a whole team for the diagnosis. The clinician, ENT surgeon, dentist, maxillofacial surgeon, ophthalmologist, neurosurgeon. These are the teams for that. And we have to diagnose at early stage, because it is very, very rapidly spreading disease. There are so many misconceptions and ignorance in the patient's mind. So the doctors, nurses, medical centers, paramedical staffs, we have to alert the society by giving the knowledge of main symptoms and how to take care by posters, videos, animations in our hospital premises, so that patient's diagnosis can be at early stage, and we have to we will be successful for saving the life and organ of the patient. First, take a thorough history for the patient, because history is very important. We have to rule out the blood sugar, ferritin levels, if increase or not, history of steroid during COVID, immunosuppressive drugs, and other medical therapies, and even the other history of the patient. What are the main symptoms of mucormycosis? Mainly, there is a pain in a teeth or jaw bones, headache, pain and redness on the affected area, blackish, brownish discoloration around the nose or palate, multiple tooth mobility along with the jaw bones, foul smell, suppuration from the affected oral mucosa, palate and gums, nasal blockage, nasal discharge, ophthalmoplegia, proptosis of eye, redness of eye, blurred vision or double vision. Here, the dentist's role is very important. If there is a pain in a jaw, suppose if any patient is there in front of you and sudden pain without any caries or any infection over there, so you should not ignore the mucormycosis, because in such cases we are just going with the root canals and oral prophylaxis. But we have to take some good history. If the patient was suffering from the COVID, then we have to go for some scan, CT scan, PNS or biopsy. Take thorough history for the patient. Now, the diagnostic measures. What are the diagnostic measures for the mucormycosis? Mostly biopsy, KOH mount, fungal culture, nasal endoscopy, which is very important for the diagnosis. ENT surgeon's main role is for the nasal endoscopy. Then CT scan, PNS CT scan with contrast, MRI PNS, PNS MRI, PNS MRI, and if needed HRCT scans. What are the treatment? Treatment is a multidisciplinary approach. Now, very important. This is not a job of any surgeon, only one surgeon. There should be a oral max spec surgeon, there should be a ENT surgeon, there should be a ophthalmologist, there should be a neurosurgeon, physician and pathologist. This is a combination of dentist and all surgeons. Now, the neurosurgeon's role is at the wide level of infection, but prior that, oral maxfac surgeons and ENT surgeons are very important. Now, even physicians follow-up is very important, because after the treatment, physician has to take care. The treatment plan is mainly like debridement, necrosed bone, debridement of necrosed bone, the tissue removal from that part which is necrosed, maxillectomy mostly, hemi or total maxillectomy. But if the extensive disease is there, then orbital exenteration is also important. Inoculation of orbit is just removal of intact eye, leaving the muscles, and exenteration is removal of the entire eye contents of the orbit. The treatment, the medicinal treatment is amphotericin B, is a drug of choice with very important. There are so many types like deoxylate, lyophilized, then liposomal, lipid complex. These are the injectable drugs. Even tablet form is there. Pasaconazole is a drug of choice, 300 mg per day for at least 1 month. But during treatment, judicial use of steroids, respiratory care should be very important. Otherwise, one can lead into the ARDS. So go for the chest physiotherapy, sepsis control, nutritional care, financial support, and most important, psychological support is very, very important. Even nowadays, recently, the government of Maharashtra has done a very good job. The mucormycosis is now included into MPJY, means Mahatma Phule Jan Arogya Yojana, which is cashless for the poor and needy people. And even government is planning for the and even they are giving the amphotericin. There was some shortage of amphotericin B, but nowadays we are getting amphotericin B for the patients. But the role of physician is very important if we are going for the amphotericin B, because post-operative liposomal amphotericin B is a safe drug, but other forms are nephrotoxic. So one should manage the doses according to the creatine level of the patient, so that if needed, there should be a amphotericin holiday should be there if the creatine is more. Recurrence and follow-up is also very important, because recurrence is very more in case of mucormycosis. Oral and nasal hygiene plays an important role after post-operative surgery. The main 6 to 8 weeks care is very, very important. Even voriconazole is used in case of aspergillus, in case of chest, the mucormycosis is in pulmonary mucormycosis, but it aggravates the mucormycosis, so that voriconazole is a good drug in case of aspergillus, but it aggravates mucor. So you have to take care during this administration of this drug. And rehabilitation is very important. Now the treatment plan is over. These are the line of treatment. Now rehabilitation for such patient is very important. After maxillectomy or removal of other vital structure, reconstruction is a very, very challenging job. The reconstruction should be aesthetically and functionally satisfactory for the patient. Here, some role of prosthodontist is also very important. Replacement of teeth, we can go for the zygomatic implants, dental implants, free fibular flaps, obturators, even I think temporalis muscle fascia, pericardial flap in post-maxillectomy reconstruction of maxilla and palate. This is a temporalis muscle. We can tunnel the temporalis muscle from here through the zygomatic arch, and we can reconstruct the maxilla during the surgery. This is also one good option during after maxillectomy. There are some obturators, pre-surgical obturator. Before the surgery, we have to plan according to with the help of prosthodontist and oral surgeon, so that we have to take an impression, lab work prior to this, and this is a pre-surgical work. Some obturators are intermediate obturator. This is for after 1 month, it gives the support to the muscles, and lastly the definitive obturators are also there. After total healing, definitive obturator is useful mainly after 3 months, around 3 months, and even we can go for the replacement of teeth with dentures. Even we can treat the patient for the oronasal communication by different surgery. Other prosthetic organs like eyeball, nose, ear, palate as an artificial substitute of this post mucormycosis patient. These are the substitutes for the post-operative patients. I want to share one experience. We conducted one camp for the early detection of mucormycosis in Baramati. This was organized by Indian Dental Association, by IDA Baramati Fulton branch, and supported by state IDA branch, Maharashtra State IDA branch, in combination with Natraj Kalamandal Baramati. This is for the help of the poor people, totally free of cost. We have done this work, and around 610 post-COVID patients we had checkup for them for the mucormycosis. And I want to share one thing, that we from this organized camp we had 16 patients of mucormycosis. We detected 16 patients, and out of 16, 14 were in early stage and 2 patients were in a late stage. But from this camp we learned one thing, that early detection is very important. So after this camp we saved 16 lives, so that every clinician, every dentist their job is that we have to detect early stage mucormycosis. And we all IDA members and always ready, we all surgeons and even all ENT surgeons, doctors, physicians are always ready for the society, and this is a very bad time for us. So we have to take care of our health, and we all medical practitioners, government of Maharashtra, and all are ready to help for the people and for the well-being of human mankind. Jai Hind.